y'all, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Danielle's Awake. I am Danielle and I'm awake. No, I am Danielle and this is not a get ready with me video, but I am getting ready. And I look like I'm about to be working on the side of somebody's road or somebody's highway, but y'all, it's cold. It is cold outside and I have to go somewhere in a little bit. So anyway, when I did my depersonalization video, I was talking about trauma, and I was like, I'm gonna do a video about it, and it's just really been on my heart to do this video. So I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna do the video while I get ready or whatever. And I'm about to burn my the sage I got that I showed y'all in my Marshall's haul. Yeah, Marshall's haul. I'm about to burn it. And my little flame. But yeah, I'm about to burn this and see what it's giving. Oh, it's cute. It's cute. Yes. I like it. Let me see, y'all. Get rid of that. Y'all got going on. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to talk about trauma because I was talking about depersonalization on my last video. And I think that's why I was talking about trauma, y'all. I don't know. But, and I was like, I'm going to talk about some of the trauma that I've been through because your girl been through a lot. And I'm not going to talk about everything, but I'm going to talk about some things. And I'm going to try to go in order from, like, you know, when I was younger to older or whatever. And just talk about a couple of, like, the major ones. The major traumatic events. And, of course, I wasn't ready, so I'm looking for my makeup. I'm looking for my makeup right now. But, let me take my vitamins. So, one of the first things that happened to me, how old was I? See, I don't really want to talk about this one. I don't want to. Let's just say I was, like, taken advantage of, or, like, I said no and they didn't listen. Let's just say that. So I was younger, maybe, I don't know. I was younger, like in my teens, and like we had hung out before, if you know what I mean. But this time I said no, and they proceeded to do what they wanted to do. So that was one of my first traumatic experiences, and it left me with a lot of guilt because of how they made me feel like, well, you already did this before, we did that before. People would talk about like how maybe you were dressed and like you deserved it, blah, 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 all that. So that put a lot of guilt on me, which guilt is one of my things that I'm trying to work through. So with that, it showed up in, you know, relationships and stuff like that. And because that happened, you know what I mean? It can be triggered in like physical relationships, you know, if someone's touching you, stuff like that, it can be triggered by that. So that was one of my first traumatic experiences. And just to remind y'all that we talking about this, I'm not talking about this just to, you know, be spilling my tea or like just be talking about it. It's because we need to work through trauma. So I said, I guess I'll just say what I've been through, what I'm working through. One of the second ones is I was like held hostage. Y'all, I know I'm laughing. It's not funny, but like, thank God I can laugh about it now. But I was held hostage for like, and it wasn't like days or anything. It was like hours by an ex. So I broke up with them. But being that I'm like one of these people that's too nice and was too trusting and all that, they called me and was like they needed a ride from work. Now, mind you, they worked at a place Well, the place was closed and they were just in there doing some work. And they held my ass hostage in there for hours. And it was other men in there and they were just like terrorizing me. Let's just say that. The men weren't helping. They were sitting there like some little, you know, not helping and any of that. So that was traumatizing. And again, I was in my, you know, late teens or early teens. I don't know. I was young. And he just held me hostage in there, threatening me, all that stuff. And like I said, the little dudes wasn't helping or nothing. So that was number two. One of the third and most traumatic events that happened in my life was a car accident. A really bad car accident. Hold on, I gotta take this big freaking pill. Ooh, child. I'll be right back. I'm back. I was trying to take them big vitamins and talk at the same time, and it wasn't happening. So anywho, one of the other like major traumatic events that's happened. Y'all, this making me look huge. But anyway, one of the major ones that happened was a really bad car accident. So, I was riding with someone. They were driving, and it was late. It was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. And I was younger. And so we were riding on the highway. I was on my way to Durham, North Carolina. And I remember because I was turning up my music. Let me go back. Rewind. So before we left, and this is a whole nother point I want to make. Before we left, before they even came to get me, because they were coming to pick me up, I was so, like, my stomach was nervous and upset, almost like I didn't need to be going anywhere. Like, my stomach was upset, if you know what I mean. Like, I was sick. I felt, like, nervous. I just, you know, but I left anyway. So that was one of the first times I started to really trying to learn to listen to my instinct or the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. I started learning to listen to that, and I started to try to, you know, teach other people to listen to their instincts. And no, I don't always do it. I didn't always do it after that, but I'm always reminded in some way to listen to that. But anyway, so yeah, before we were supposed to go, I was like really sick, really nervous, and so we went anyway, like some food. And I don't know if it was me that really wanted to leave that night or if it was the other person. But we left. I don't know. So, we were on the highway, and I had always heard, like, a lot of accidents happen minutes before you get to your destination, and that's exactly what happened. So, we were driving. It was late. It was dark. And I was turning up my song. I don't know if y'all remember. I'm aging myself a little bit. I'm telling y'all my age a little bit. But the Lauryn Hill song, like, sweetest thing I've ever known. That song from Love Jones movie. I was turning it up. And then I happened to look up, and I felt like I was on, like, going up a roller coaster. Like, so the person that was driving had fallen asleep, y'all. And it felt like I was going up a roller coaster, but I'm guessing, like, we were flipping. So we flipped over 4 lanes of highway into a ditch. And I didn't have a seatbelt on. I blanked in and out because all I remember really is turning the music up, and I remember a little bit like crawling around a little bit in the car. which was the roof of the car because the car was flipped. But apparently, some man that was like a truck driver saw us and he got us and took us to the emergency room. The only thing I remember from that is going through like the little, like they do the scan, I guess brain scan, and that's it. So that was super traumatic. But the crazy thing is I don't think about it that often. Now maybe I just pushed it in the back of my head, but all I have from that accident, no seatbelt, flipping over 4 lanes of highway, is a little scratch under my chin. You can barely see it now, especially because your girl got a little chin hair. But you can barely see it. So that was one of the other major traumatic events in my life. And we went back to see the car, like in the junkyard, and like the car was like squished, and we were like, how did we even freaking survive? You know what I mean? Craziness. So one more. One more. And I'm talking through it. I'm talking through it for myself because sometimes we don't realize that some of those traumatic experiences are showing up in our lives and are the reason why we are afraid of things, why we act a certain way. All that is because of those events that we haven't faced and we haven't worked through. So another one came to my head because I'm like, because I used to be terrified, still a little bit, of storms. Like, I don't care if it's a thunderstorm, if it's raining hard, I was terrified. But when I was younger too, we weren't in the house, but our house was hit by lightning and burned down to the ground. I remember I wasn't at home and they called me, and I guess they wanted me to be calm, so they were like, you need to go to your house because something's going on at your house. It was kind of like that. And I had to, once I pulled up, like the neighbors and stuff like that had to pull me out of the car because I couldn't control my limbs. So I couldn't put the car in park. I couldn't push the brake. I was just, in shock, I guess. And I remember going in there. I couldn't see. My eyes were like full of water. And it was like the ceiling was on the floor. It was mushy. It was just crazy. So those are some of the things that I have been through that I'm sure have an effect on me now. Possibly, the reason why I ended up with anxiety disorder. So I just said all this to say and encourage us to think about those things and even if you're angry about something, if you realize you're not a trusting person or whatever, you're afraid to go over bridges, under bridges, whatever that thing is, try to look back and see, like, what did I go through? Like, why am I afraid of this? You know what I mean? And so that's the whole point of this video, and the whole point of me spilling my tea again, because I'm trying to work through it. And as I even talk about it, it's like, yeah, well, maybe that's why you don't really fool with the highway. And sometimes we've been through traumatic experiences and they aren't necessarily the exact same thing. Like, for example, if you're claustrophobic, it may not mean that somebody held you, I don't know, in a closet or something like that forever. Maybe somebody bullied you and they put the pillow over your head and you couldn't breathe, so now it makes you feel claustrophobic. You know what I mean? So it's worth trying to go through those, go look back and try to see what you have been through that is showing up in your life in a negative way. So those were some of the major things and major traumatic experiences that I have been through. My lips are real ashy. But I want to thank anybody who listened and, liked subscribed, commented, and just remember that just think back. It's hard to sometimes go back and think about the things that hurt us or traumatize us, but I feel like it could be beneficial once you go back and you forgive yourself, forgive other people, let go of guilt, see what you could possibly learn from what you've been through, and leave it back there, like leave it in the past, keep it moving. As I was watching, I don't know if y'all know, I always about to end the video and keep on talking, but if y'all know Kevin Gates' wife, Drika, I was watching her and she gave me an idea. I'm going to try it. She said, like, if you're angry or if you're going through something, somebody's like pissing you off or whatever you're going through, she said, set a timer on your phone for 12 minutes and just write, like, whatever you want to write it, you know, whatever, just write. Don't worry about punctuation and all that stuff. Just write for 12 minutes, and as soon as the your timer stops, stop writing. Don't reread it. And she said burn it. And she said that she's doing it for 14 days or 15 days. So I'm gonna try that, but I'm like, I'm in an apartment complex. Like, they gonna be like, what is she out there burning? Because I know I can't burn it in the apartment. Let me think that through. But once I start, I'll let y'all know. But once again, thank y'all for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, and let's get it. Let's work through this stuff. Let's get it. See y'all later. Bye.